I'm very excited for this video in particular because it takes me back. I'm going to be having a lot of fond memories in just a few moments. Today I'm going to be discussing my favorite YouTube creators. OB Keeng to ease no eye, coming out with the music to ease your mind. I became aware of the wonderful platform that is YouTube just over a year ago when the pandemic began to get scary. The only outlets we had was our phones to communicate with ourselves, especially during the first lockdown. Everybody was scared. What's going on? Are we going to make it out of this? For a lot of people, going to YouTube was the main source of information. I personally know that during the pandemic, YouTube saw a huge rise in number of views, number of hits. In fact, the conspiracy theorist in me kind of says YouTube somehow started this pandemic to get more views, but that's crazy. So before I start mentioning my favorite channels, a little background about myself, so you know maybe if these videos will also appeal to YouTube. I like creators that are bold, entertaining, that are very good communicators, that are funny. I watch everything. Like, I always want to learn something new. I absorb knowledge like a sponge. Whoever I'm watching, I don't really care about their political views. I don't care about their politics. I just want to know how creative they can be. I only stop short at gore and NFSW kind of videos. They don't appeal to me. If I can learn something new from the video, if it's funny, if it's creative, if it's well researched, I'm hooked. And some of these creators I'm about to talk about, they are those that really appeal to me. Because when I follow a YouTube channel, I follow for a while to see, okay, what's this channel about? Are they consistent? And these channels I'm about to mention, they really go the distance. They are really, really good. New channels are coming up every day. My list is going to change from time to time. So this is my first list of favorite YouTube creators since the inception of watching YouTube, and I hope you enjoy it. Alright, so I'm going to break down my favorite YouTube creators into different categories. First category will be shorts. That's the newest platform, YouTube Shorts. General, comedy, music reviews, movie reviews, and honorable mentions. Okay, so first I'm going to start with shorts. My favorite YouTube Shorts channel as of right now is a guy named Rich Black Guy. Rich Black Guy is so fun. Like, I've literally watched all of his shorts. I think he's on TikTok as well, but he's so creative with what he does, and everything he does is with a single camera. Like, he creates a whole movie out of using just his camera, himself, costumes. I don't know if he uses makeup, and I think his son. There's also a very fun young man that joins him on videos sometimes. But the creativity in the videos is amazing, and they are so funny. I especially like the thing he does when he kind of transforms into a god. He knows how to roll his eyes into his head. I could never do that. I don't know how he does that. When he does it, he kind of goes into god mode. Then I guess he hops on his feet, so in the camera it feels like he's levitating. Explaining it now, I probably won't be able to do it justice, so it's something you just need to check out yourself. My favorite video of his is a video he did on a guy that gets the 5 different vaccines at once and develops superpowers, and it's a really crazy stupid video, but it's so funny. Alright, the next shorts channel I approve of, Memeology. Memeology is very funny, but they are also very politically charged. I think they are very conservative leaning from the videos I see, because they are always making fun of the current administration. I mean, like the American administration. The way they craft videos, or he or she crafts videos, I don't know who is behind the account. Might be the Republican Party behind the account. You can never know, but it's funny as well. As we go on with this list, you discover that most of the channels I call, they are kind of conservative leaning, but to me they are like the funniest channels right now, because but the president is a Democrat. So definitely the funniest channels will be the conservative channels, because they are basically making fun of whoever is in power. And as the person is in power, it means there's a lot of content that is coming out of them. Right now, you can't really make fun of Trump because Trump isn't in office. Sorry, Biden, I guess you're going to be the butt of the jokes for the next 2-3 years. Or is it Brandon? Speaking of conservative channels making fun of Biden, the second short channel I like on this topic is John Talks. John Talks too is funny. Sometimes I feel like he moonlights for Memeology because a lot of the topics they do are very similar. You guys really make it seem like America is going to burn down any moment. I really hope you guys can find the unity that you are known for. The fourth shorts channel I've discovered that I like is a lady known as the Rachel Maria. What the Rachel Maria does is she gets clips from government officials speaking at events. Then she lip syncs dressed as the government official, but with very exaggerated facial expressions. She's always on cue, and her facial expressions are really funny. I guess she's a comedian, I'm not really sure, but anytime I open up her videos, I'm always guaranteed a laugh, and she puts a lot of work into it from what I've seen, so you should probably check her out. Alright, from shorts, I'm going to move into one of my favorite categories: movie reviews. I may have the longest number of creators in this category because I'm a huge fan of this category. I really love movies almost as much as I love music. The movies and music, they really shaped my life at this point. The first movie reviewer I'm going to call, oh man, Dorias Unlimited. Dorias Unlimited is really funny and he's deadpan. Like, I don't think I've ever seen him laugh in one of his videos. He doesn't even bother to dress well. I don't know if it's an intentional thing. He's always wearing these slacked shirts, but his reviews are so hilarious. If he likes a movie, he really likes a movie, and if he hates a movie, he really hates a movie. His delivery is so seamless. I don't know if he reads from a prompter. I don't know if he prepares his reviews or he just goes and rants, but the outcome is always hilarious. I think my best videos from him are the series of reviews he did on Batwoman. He really hates Batwoman. He watches every episode and it's so funny when he reviews, because I don't think any episode had a good review. He trashed all the episodes, but he has some very good fun ones too. Recently he did Spider-Man No Way Home and it was a very nice review, and it's still funny even when he does write nice reviews. Second movie review channel is actually the first one I ever got turned on to on YouTube, Chris Stockman. I click right here and get Stockmanized. I think he's a movie author, and I was also very drawn in by his story of him being excommunicated from a religious group, I forget which one right now, because of his love for movies and following his passion. And he even says he has a movie project coming out soon. I wish him the best. I'm looking forward to seeing that movie, and I hope it's loved by the critics, because you criticize a lot of movies. But even Chris Stockman does not trash any movies, and he gives his honest opinion. And I find myself relating with a lot of his opinions on movies, because I'm a movie lover as well. But he articulates it in a way that you see where it's coming from, and you also get the sense that he enjoys fun movies too. Like, he's not one of those critics that you see on like Rotten Tomatoes or Metacritic, like this movie, it did not have the deep plot, the depth, the theater, love of theater. No, he doesn't do that. If it's a fun movie, he will rate it as a fun movie. If it's a serious movie, he rates it as a serious movie. If it's a comedy, he watches it as a comedy. Sometimes he gives some movies a pass that you expect him to trash. By the end of the day, you kind of see his point. The next movie reviewer I really enjoy is someone called The Critical Drinker. The critical drinker is also very deadpan, but he doesn't show his face in his reviews, but they are quite as funny. He also has a lot of puns about alcoholism that are very funny, and he infuses them. I think his reviews are usually 9-10 minutes. They are a long stream of consciousness, but by the end of the review, you get the whole idea of the movie, you get the plot, you get what was good, what was bad, and you get a whole lot of jokes in between. The jokes are really sarcastic. He also does live streams too, but I rarely have time for the live streams because they are quite long. I think I'm good with his reviews. His reviews are funny. Next movie reviewer I really enjoy, Vito. He's not purely a movie reviewer, but his most famous videos are movie reviews. I think his most famous videos are on the new Star Wars series, where he trashed them religiously. He reviewed the new Mulan movie, and I think he called Mulan a Mary Sue. And he does these gotcha counts on the reviews. They are very funny. The guy is very creative. And he's not just a movie reviewer, he does a whole lot of videos on social politics as well. He says he's a liberal, but he talks like a conservative. Either way, he's very entertaining. Alright, the last person I have on my movie reviewers list is someone called Sonic XD. Sonic HAXD. I think he's Asian, but I discovered him from his review of the Mortal Kombat 2021 movie. Man, that movie was trash, and I saw it in the cinema, and I hated it so much. I think I even wrote an article on it. Mortal Kombat ruined my love of cinema. The whole time I was itching to get out of the cinema. I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan, and I wanted to see it to the end, but there really wasn't anything to see. Sonic XD did whole videos breaking down how bad the movie was. Like, he did Mortal Kombat sucks videos, and he still does sucks videos, but what intrigued me is they are very funny, and they also are so detailed. I edit videos myself. I can't imagine the time and effort that he puts into editing those things. They are quite long, and they are still very well constructed. Alright, I'm done with the movie reviewers. I'm going to move on to the next category, which is general. Okay, by general I mean like podcasters, those that talk on cultural issues in general. So I didn't really know what to call the category, so I just called it general. Alright, the first on this list is the first podcaster I ever watched their full video on YouTube, and it's one of the people that actually drew me to YouTube. It's kind of an inspiration for me with how bold and how natural he is. It's the Joe Rogan Experience. The Joe Rogan Experience is now on Spotify exclusively, but he still has the Clips channel on YouTube, which is still very informative. Joe Rogan is somebody that strikes me as someone that is a lover of knowledge. Like, he gets all these interesting personalities on his podcast just to talk to them. And the podcast is long form, there's no editing on the podcast. So it's like his authentic self he has seen, and the authentic self of the people he's interviewing. I mean, when you're sitting down with somebody and talking for 2 hours, 3 hours, there's only so long till you start to let your real self show. And Joe Rogan is really good at making you feel at home. The podcasters really feel like they are welcome to share in this space. It's like a modern day man cave. When I found the Joe Rogan Experience, I had no idea it's the same guy that was on Fear Factor. I watched Fear Factor as a kid a lot, and I later learned he was commenting in the UFC. I was like, whoa. And I learned he's a comedian as well. I had no idea he did stand up, but he's doing such a great job with the podcast. Joe Rogan also puts me on to this next person on the list that is still one of my favorites in the general category, Tim Dillon. Tim Dillon is a crazy person, as for lack of a better word. Dude is crazy, but dude is really, really funny.
The CIA, all these people, they're just too good. They're good. They've beat me. They're going to win. They're going to win. The CIA is going to beat you.
Right, but you don't want them taking away your rights and closing in on your email account.
They're going to do it anyway.
Are they? You
What
sure?
are you going to do? Don't take
Happy
my
your voice.
rights. Send. And Biden was chosen because he is a corpse. Make no mistake. Politics is Beyonce shaking her ass and having a trans Batman. That level of commitment to the American people. I think he sees the entire world as a joke, as like his playground. So he just says things sometimes to get a rise out of people. The way he tiptoes between craziness and genius is what gets me. You never ever get a sense that he's losing it or anything, that he's totally in control. The person that I think is losing it is Ben, his producer, Ben Avery. You hear him laughing in the background if he's not showing in the video. And during Tim Dillon shows, one of the favorite parts for me is watching him laugh himself to stupor. I just hope he doesn't go crazy one of these days. Tim Dillon and Ben Avery, you guys put on a great show. The next person on my favorite YouTubers list under general is my Nigerian brother, Fisayo Fosudo. Fisayo is doing great work in the tech space. He has great takes on laptops, phones, anything tech related that you are not sure of. Fisayo probably has an idea on it. I think he's breaking new ground for YouTube in Nigeria. Like, dude is really dedicated to the craft. Next person on my favorites list under general, CoffeeZilla, the man with the $10 million studio. CoffeeZilla calls himself the internet detective. That's exactly what he is. He always has an eye out for scammers and the next scam. If you watch his channel, you're going to be aware of what's happening around you, and you're going to be more careful where you put your money in. I feel he overdoes it sometimes. I think he's overtly skeptical about new financial opportunities, but man, the guy has his eyes open. Sometimes he predicts scams before they happen. Something he does is he actually tries to engage scammers to get their mindset. So he tries to debate them to see, okay, maybe there might be something wrong with his own analysis, but most of the time he turns out right. CoffeeZilla is doing really great work, and he has some great outro songs. Wake up and smell the coffee. CoffeeZilla even covered Hush Puppy scam one time, and he was spot on about everything. That's why I saw in the comment section that he actually had Nigerian followers that were probably learning from him or trying to scam him. Who knows? One of the videos that actually put me onto him was a Nigerian scammer tried getting through to him and scamming him, and it was such a funny episode where he was laughing as he was explaining that, okay, I don't have any money to give you. You probably have more money than me. Alright, next on the general list, I think I'm going to enter into some very controversial podcasts I listen to. I hope you don't see me in a different light after this. These guys, they really break new ground, and some of them are quite funny, some they are actually quite intense, and some of them you learn things that you've never learned before. One of such podcasts is Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro's show, probably the least controversial out of what the channels I'm going to call. Ben Shapiro talks so fast, I can't tell if he's using a teleprompter or that's him. He's so knowledgeable about political issues. He is very obviously a conservative, but his takes, they are a lot of the time very airtight logically. Like, the guy is a logic machine. He talks like a computer, and he always has all these unique takes. So he's doing great things with his team. I think he's under Daily Mail. I could be wrong about that. I feel like Ben Shapiro will probably run for office sometime in the future. I mean, he has all it takes. He's married to a doctor. He always says he's married to a doctor. I think he has people's best interests at heart, and he has a very large following. So maybe one of these days he'll actually put his money where his mouth is. Maybe he'll run for governor or mayor or something. Yes, my next favorite under the controversial side of general YouTube, Jay the Black. Jay the Black, spelled Jayede.
black, as in his heart is black. The guy gives these long form podcasts where he's deadpan all through and he speaks on social politics. So he criticizes the black American culture a whole lot of time, especially women. Like, he criticizes women a lot, and he always speaks on celebrities. But the guy's takes, they are so unique. The way he presents them is, they are so cold-blooded. Like, he doesn't really care what anybody thinks about what he's saying. I don't know if the picture on his channel is his real picture. I never really did any deep research into who he is. It's very hard to argue with his logic when he speaks. Some of his followers call him a prophet. So I think that's ridiculous. I think he's trying to save the culture from destruction. From what he says, he's really not happy with a lot of the things he sees. He's really not happy with the whole decadence that he sees, over-reliance on wealth, greed, the over-sexualization culture. He speaks against all of that. Make sure you like the stream. I just have to say it. Kevin Samuels is funny as hell. I can't remember when I discovered Kevin Samuels. I think I was at the gym, then I saw him in somebody else's phone. He was on Instagram at the time, and the like thing was just going off. At first, I was shocked by what he was talking about because, man, he really bashes women. There's no other way to say it. But why I like the channel is women keep calling into his channel to try and prove him wrong. And every time they do that, he trashes them. Because on his channel, his logic is what goes. Like, if anything that doesn't agree with his logic, he's not going to allow it fly. So I'm like, why do you keep calling when you know he's just going to trash you at the end of the day? I mean, the only way you could probably call onto that show and he would give you a listening ear, or he would kind of see your opinion, is if you are the perfect person he was describing. That's if you are a multi-millionaire, you are married with kids, you're high value, like he says it. And someone like that wouldn't even want to call on the show anyway. Someone like that would probably not even be watching the show. I mean, what reason would they have to watch? Well, Kevin Samuels is a great content creator. I mean, he puts so much work into what he does. I have to respect that. He calls himself the Godfather. The Godfather. Alright, the final YouTuber on this list for general under controversial. This one is very personal because it has to do with my tribe. As many of you may already know, I'm Nigerian and I'm Igbo. There's really a crisis in the Igbo community where many people feel like they are trying to succeed from Nigeria. Basically, Igbos feel like minorities in the country, and there's a whole lot of history behind that. The Civil War, there were a whole lot of deaths on the Igbo side. Younger people like me, we don't grasp the idea of what happened during the Civil War. So I discovered this channel called Simon Ekpa. I think Simon Ekpa is the name of the person, and at the time I didn't know he was an IPOB member. So that's like, they're this radical group that wants to succeed from Nigeria and create Biafra. That's Biafra, kind of their own country within Nigeria that is just made up of Igbo communities. And Biafra was an idea that existed before the Civil War of 1967 to 1970. Okay, that's a whole deep conversation we had there, but why I like Simon Elba is that he's entertaining. His English is not too good, but he really is a good communicator. Like, he actually provides a window into a lot of the anger that Igbos felt and many still feel. And many of these Igbos, they are looking for an outlet or somebody that understands them. So when they watch Simon Ekpa, and the way he entertains, the way he educates, you start to get a feel of why that anger persists, and you start to feel, okay, some part of your history has actually been stolen from you. But I can get why his channel is not really savory, because I mean it's very anti-government and it opens up a whole lot of old wounds. But I feel like, yes, if the country is to move forward, you actually have to go back and look at the aggrieved parties, and it's only when those grievances they are settled, that's when everybody can begin to unite in good faith. All right, the next category I'm going to move into is comedy. There are only two channels that I listen to for pure comedy. The first is Elba and Preach. Elba and Preach, they are two funny guys that they speak on culture in general. They speak on culture in the West. I think they stay in Canada, Quebec, and they crack a lot of jokes. Both of them, they are surprisingly in sync. They are both hilarious and they both complement each other very, very well. Preach's laugh in particular is so infectious. The second person in my comedy list, DJ Academics. DJ Academics is supposed to be a music guy, I guess, but man, I watch him for laughs. He's a complete clown. He's always trying to stir up beef wherever he goes. At least that's the way I see it. When he speaks on issues, he speaks his mind. He doesn't hide anything. He says his fears, he says what he loves. When he's angry with somebody, he lets them know. He's very transparent in his podcast. Sometimes he drinks on his pod and loses it, and he'll still come back the next day like nothing happened. He'll make mistakes, and next thing he'll be like, my bad, Chad, my bad, Chad, my bad. Okay, my final category of favorite YouTubers, music reviewers. Anthony Fantano is one of the best. I can't stand Anthony Fantano. He makes everything so mathematical, although he did put me on to the Death Grips, which was a very great recommendation. I enjoyed that album, The Money Trap, right? But by far my favorite music related channel out of all of them is Trap Law Ross. Trap Law Ross is somebody that doesn't really comment on music, but he speaks a lot on hip-hop culture and history. He's a white dude, but man, the guy is so knowledgeable about hip-hop and rap, and hip-hop is my favorite genre. I mean, it reflects in the music I make. And Trap Law Ross, he's on the come up anyway. He's already quite popular. I don't know if he works with a team or he works alone, but he does great research. I guess that's it for my favorite YouTube creators for now, because I'm still discovering new creators every day, and maybe I'll try and keep you guys posted when I have a substantial change in the list or I have new takes on this current list. Some honorable mentions, some YouTubers I like that did not make the list, but off the top of my head, they are still very good. I'm thinking Timcast. Timcast is very, very right-leaning, but he too is very knowledgeable, just like Ben Shapiro. History Behind the Warrior. History Behind the Warrior is somebody that is very deep into Mortal Kombat lore. I also have to give a shout out to PewDiePie. I think PewDiePie is like the foremost innovators of this YouTube creator thing. So those are my favorite YouTube creators so far. Let me know what you think in the comments. Suggest YouTubers for me to follow. Good ones, any funny ones, bold ones, entertaining ones. Suggest them to me in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.